So getting back to your point, just about academia.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to see that needs to change?
I don't think people fully understand the conduit between research in academia and the rest of our lives. It's not just something behind a closed door in an ivory tower.
Yeah.
There are people doing research on subjects, topics that do not have immediate, obvious financial benefits, but they're being done because the person is an expert in that subject, cares about it in a way no one else is going to care about it. Maybe later on you can find, well, almost certainly later on, you can find a commercial application of it. But if you look at the sources of innovation in the country, it is not in the R&D departments of, yes, there's some in the R&D departments of big business, but there's a limit to what they're going to have them do, because not everything they're going to do is going to make a buck. Okay? I'm sorry. There's a limit to what they're going to have them do, because everything they could do would not necessarily translate into the return on investment. So in academia, there's no such limits. So we can do research on a subject that you would not otherwise care about.
Right. Just because there's not a P&L sheet on it, or there is not a financial return on it, does not mean that there's not value for it in and of itself.
You know what came out of academia? My physics professor in college, who was an expert on nuclei in space. And out of this effort, he discovered a new physical phenomena called magnetic resonance of nuclei. Won a Nobel Prize for it.
Yeah.
It's a new physics phenomenon. No, why do you care? It's just physics, and you can't even see molecules, much less care about anybody thinking about what the nucleus of it is doing. Right. Oh my gosh. What came out of that? The MRI. The magnetic resonance imager is based on a principle of physics discovered by a physicist who himself had no direct interest in medicine, but was foundational to it.
Got it. And so there are inadvertent positive consequences for humanity by researching things for the pursuit of researching themselves in and of itself.
Correct. And that happens in academia.
Got it. There's two great chunks I want to get into.
Go.
I want to talk about the golden age of engineering. I was talking to my producer Prashant about this, and he said, in our humble opinion, we are living in arguably the golden age of engineering breakthroughs. But when you look at robotics, batteries, self-driving cars, virtual reality, etc., it's incredible. But I don't know if the same thing can be said about scientific breakthroughs. The 20th century was the era where we saw these massive breakthrough after breakthrough that you had talked about. Now that all of that fruit has been picked, it feels like many of our scientific breakthroughs are limited by the precision of the instruments that we are using and the precision of our instrumentation. What I mean by that is that before, you needed a microscope to discover germs, and now we need a Large Hadron Collider to prove the Higgs boson. So it ultimately comes back to engineering breakthroughs. Do you think this is a fair way to look at the state of science and engineering at the moment? Essentially, that discoveries are limited by the instruments that we have.
By the way, we've been, like I said, when you're on an exponential growth curve,
yeah,
no matter where you place yourself on that curve, it looks like all the great inventions happened just recently. That's the nature of an exponential curve. Yeah. So you show an exponential curve, we're here. Yeah. Oh my gosh, look what happened. If you rescale that and cut it here and scale it, that will be the same downward curve to the past.
Oh, got it.
20 years ago, 50 years ago, as you see today.
Got it.
That's what 50 years ago, no one's saying, oh, we're living in such backwards time. Said no one ever in the history of,
I got you. So when you look at each subsection, it always looks like the y equals x squared.
Correct.
Curve.
Correct. No matter which segment you plot, it'll look like most of the changes happen.
Do you like that? I know. I still remember y equals
x squared. Very good. Woo! Beautiful. Very good. Make up for some of that stuff earlier in the conversation.
Sure.
So this thing about science not being where engineering is, someone wrote that 100 years ago. Said, we've figured out most things in science, and now it's just a few more decimal places in the measurements. And then we discovered relativity and quantum physics. Yeah. And physics was transformed. Right. What I can tell you is we know enough about the universe to quantify our ignorance. And everything we know, the physics, the chemistry, the biology, all of that, all of our understanding of what's going on in the universe is 5% of what is driving the universe. The 95% has dark matter and dark energy. We can measure it. We don't know what it is or what's causing it.
Okay, I'm a religious person. That scares me. When you say that, it just terrifies me. But I want to...
But no, what I'm saying, my point is, that's a frontier.
Oh, to research
so
and discover
you're saying
it.
we haven't discovered anything lately. We are on the doorstep of profound ignorance turning into possibly profound insight and wisdom on how the universe works. And so and that's all the sciences. And in biology, they're still trying to figure out how you went from organic molecules to self-replicating life. Right. That's a frontier in biology. We're looking for life in the universe. Aliens. Oh my gosh. If we find a biosphere on another planet that encodes identity that doesn't use DNA, or if it does have DNA but no DNA in common with us, that's transformative of biology. Okay. So science is indeed seemingly an endless frontier.
Do you know what deeply depresses me though? And I love this. I love the espresso you're hitting me with, this espresso of positivity. But what depresses me about when science meets the capital markets is that as soon as these scientific breakthroughs happen, they are taken advantage of or manipulated to not benefit the public at large. What I mean by that is this. Let's take robotics. For years I grew up, if you remember that stupid Honda robot that would like walk up the stairs and fall down the stairs. And I'm like, this fucking piece of shit, it's never gonna be T2000, it's never gonna help me. And then we had you see these Twitter videos, I don't know if you've seen these Boston Dynamics robots that look like velociraptors meets T2000, and they're karate chopping and doing backflips.
My favorite one are the two dogs that open the door and they let each other through.
Yeah. It's totally Jurassic Park. The raptors are in the kitchen type energy. But at no point have I seen, hey, those robots, why can't I get a Boston Dynamics robot butler? Why aren't they here to really have us humans enter the age of enlightenment? Every person I know that's in a relationship in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, this is women, families, children, couples. There are arguments about who's going to clean the dishes, who's folding the laundry, how do we have labor, support, and help at home?
Okay,
why do we have...
That's Rosie the maid in
the Jetsons?
The Jetsons. Okay.
But we don't have that. I have this stupid fucking dog karate kicking.
I'm going to tell you why we don't have it.
Why?
Because creating a robot is not a thing. Yes, it's a thing.
It is a thing.
But
Kim Kardashian did a whole commercial where she's like,
you know what they didn't figure out in the Jetsons?
What's that?
Because he gets into his flying car, because it's the future, and of course they have flying cars.
Yes.
He's still flying the car. They didn't figure out that maybe the car is the robot.
Oh, you mean the
robot doesn't have to look like
the Waymo
It doesn't have
jet?
to have legs or arms or a head or eyes. A robot just has to be something that does the task better than anybody or any other thing.
Right.
So you get into a self-driving car. The car is the robot. You don't get a butler then that drives your car. No one thought that through.
Well, this is
decades ago.
But this is the long...
You don't put a robot in your car to drive your combustion engine car. The car is the robot.
Well...
So your coffee machine is the robot. All right, now we still have to figure out the dish thing, okay?
Yeah, or the laundry thing. and I'll make my own bed, I promise.
But a machine did your laundry. You weren't at the creek side scrubbing with the thing. A machine did your laundry.
Right, but I just need one that
you are so spoiled.
That'll put it in the right... No, put it in the right thing. Put it in the right
on
cupboard.
The right shelf.
Yeah, that way I don't get in an argument. Save my relationship. Actually help my life.
Something that used to take 5 hours now takes 3 minutes, and you're still complaining.
God damn, he's calling people lazy. Okay, here we go. Fun final questions. These are sort of rapid fire. Go. Okay, when you have time to wonder, what's a thought or idea you regularly find yourself coming back to because you find it so interesting?
Whenever I'm using my telescope at night alone, and I look up, I want to be abducted by aliens. That's a fantasy.
That's incredible.
Like a beam comes down and I just join them.
Oh, like the movies. Okay,
yeah.
That doesn't terrify you?
Oh, no.
Because in all those movies, you get...
When you're a scientist, you cannot be terrified of the unknown. Because it is the unknown that seduces you.
I got it. Well, in all the movies I've seen, you just get molested up there. You've obviously spent a lot of time debunking astrology, but why do you think it's been coming back with the kids lately?
I think when people... By the way, young kids are not interested in astrology. It's only when their social lives get complicated,
Yes.
like middle school and then high school, and the money
20s,
and social
dating,
lives, right?
yeah.
Dating, and so when they are not sure that they're entirely in control, you have to blame something else, and they do. And I understand the urge, but and it can be entertaining, but and it's a free country, so I'm not going to stop people from being entertained by thinking this way.
Right.
But if they start invoking astrology for decisions that impact their health, their wealth, or their security, then those won't.
You advise you strongly reconsider.
Those won't end well. That's right.
If you could snap your fingers and have everyone on planet Earth understand one scientific concept immediately, what would that concept be?
That the universe is objectively knowable.
Wow.
Which removes most opinions from the tabletop.
I'll tell you mine. You can't microwave aluminum. And I wish I would have learned that a week ago.
Okay. Or most metals don't work well in a microwave oven.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have done countless interviews and answered thousands of questions.
Yeah.
What is one question that you wish people asked you more?
I don't think that way. I'm a servant as an educator, yes, but more importantly, I'm a servant of people's curiosity. As such, I don't come in telling you what question you should ask me. I'm there to celebrate the questions you have.
That's
about
beautiful.
Life, the universe.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, thank you so much for being of
Everything.
service. It is a joy
You got it.
to sit down and chat with you, and I can't wait to do your show at the Beacon Theater.
I'm looking forward to that.
gonna
Thank
be
you.
great. Thank
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, look at that. 1 hour, baby. Make your bed.
Wow.
Yeah.